everybody? Becca here from Inside the Square. Welcome to my live. There it goes. Whew, my screen was dark for a minute. It's kind of dark in my house right now. It is 7 p.m. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so it definitely is dark outside. But I had to hop in here to talk about the email that came out today, Squarespace Refresh. I linked to it in the description, squarespace.com// refresh. It's backwards, so I wrote this on a post-it note so we can actually see it the other way around. That's fun. All right, anyway, big update happened. I want to hop in here live to help you demystify it. There are so many changes that Squarespace announced. To be honest, some of them are not new. Some of them you are already aware of. Some of them you're probably already using, but they made such a fuss about it that I wanted to make sure I hopped in here to record this video. I also realized going through that list today how many things they've been working on. So huge shout out to Squarespace for constantly making improvements to their program. They try to do so much to make us happy. And sure, there's still some things on my wish list that will probably be there for a while, but some of these updates are really great. So I've got some notes that I wrote here. I'm going to pull those open. Oh, hang on one second. Shouldn't be listening to that. That was my own thing. Ha! All right, let's grab these notes so we can go through it together. Again, I've got a link in the description below. Inside the squarespace.com/refresh. How many times did I do that by accident? Anyway, let's get started with this. We've got things to talk about. Some things that are new, some things that you're already using, and some things that they are still working on that's coming down the pipeline that I'm pretty stoked about. Now, I've got the chat open on the side. Please ask me any questions about this. I would love to know what you want to dig into a little bit more. If there's anything you're curious about, let's get that conversation going. But starting right out of the gate here, I'm sorry I can't share my screen. It's just going to be me talking to you, but I promise there'll be links in the description. First thing announced at squarespace.com/refresh was courses, which is not new to us. Courses were released in August of 2023. I have a free course on courses if you want to interact with one to see what it's like. Inside the square.co/course. Look at that post-it note magic. Definitely check that out. Here's the run of it for you, just the quick gist. A course is a new type of collection page. You can track progress. It has internal navigation. You group lessons into chapters and you can navigate through them when you're on one of the chapter or lesson pages. Courses can be paid or free. The one I have on my site for you to interact with is totally free. You can also have them gated or not. You can require people to sign up or not. I don't require an email address because I want you to interact with the program and see what it's like. So inside the square.co/course if you want to learn a little bit more about that. All right, the second announcement at squarespace.com/refresh, Squarespace Payments. They are working on their own payment processor. So to be super duper clear, this will be released in the United States only this October, so this month. But that's just the United States. Rumor has it they will release it to other countries next year. So that's something that's going to be coming down the pipeline for other folks. Hasn't been released yet, but I have no idea how it's going to work as far as the percentages are concerned. As soon as this update came out, one of my dear friends, Phil, texted me and he's like, okay, what are the price points on these? Do you know the percentages? How does this compare to Stripe or PayPal? I personally use both Stripe and PayPal to give anyone the opportunity to purchase from me with whatever platform they're most comfortable with. Squarespace has not released that information yet. We don't know what percentage fee they're going to charge. Judging by the past percentage fees that they've charged, everything's been kind of on a scale depending upon the level of subscription that you're at. So I wouldn't be surprised if they release that information. But rest assured, the second we know, I will be posting about it. I'll probably post in the community and do a quick little overview video of how to set it up as I set it up in my own Squarespace website. So that was the second update, Squarespace Payments. Now, the third update is something that's new. This is something that we haven't had access to before, except for the cool kids like me who are in the beta test. Squarespace has released a brand new feature, client invoicing and project management. They are quite literally building their own CRM, their client relationship management platform. Now, this CRM gives you the ability to take information someone submitted on a contact form and say, hey, I'm going to start a project about that. That project is going to have milestones. I can invoice those milestones. I can make notes. I can set up automated emails for those. There are some really cool features there. Now, I've got to be totally honest. If you're offering services for specific clients that have really individualized needs, this could be a great solution for you just to have it all in one place, especially if they're going to do the payment integration with this too. Having all that in one platform seems really awesome. Personally, I automate a lot of the services that I do. For the website design services that I offer a few times a year, those are very specific and automated. I will take on specific size client projects. I have some automated systems where I'll need to duplicate the same projects. I have all of this set up in external programs, so I really don't see myself using this feature. But again, if you offer individualized services and you want to keep all that content in one universal place, this could be a great feature for you. Now, I do have a more in depth training coming out. I will say, I started using the beta for this months ago to help them test it. That's kind of how I know it's not ideal for my own client scenario. But doing that testing, I was able to see how it could be applied to a lot of really specialized services. So, this training video that's going to be coming out, lots of cool information to share about it. If you do specialized services, look into this. Squarespace.com/refresh. It has more information on client invoicing. I see a couple people commenting that they're excited about it. Didn't know it was coming, but they've been working on it. I will say one cool thing after playing with the beta of it, they've made some major improvements. The product development team at Squarespace does a great job of listening to feedback from people, and it's been really cool to watch it develop to the level that it's at now when they released it. So that's super fun. But again, specialized services, this can be a game changer for you. So get excited about that. All right, next up, they had Acuity scheduling on the list. I'm going to have to giggle about this one a little bit. So Acuity is back to its original name, and they added a colon symbol to their logo. And yeah, that was it. That was the update. Which, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just kind of silly that it made it so high up on the list. Don't get me wrong. I love Acuity scheduling. They also said that they made some updates to the mobile version of using Acuity. So that's always good. Product developments are great. But yeah, they updated the logo. So yay, Acuity. I will say they did pick a really cool font. I like the serif font that they went with. I think it looks awesome, but I'm really not sure why that made it on the list, but it did. So if you use Acuity, awesome. Personally, I use it for my strategy sessions. I just opened it back up because I had some time in my calendar this month, and I was able to turn on the appointment type. All of my old automations were there. Invoicing was already set up. It was easy peasy for me. So I am a big fan of Acuity. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny that they made it so high on the update list, especially with some of the other things we're going to talk about. All right. So next up, commerce tools. So local pickup is featured, but we've had that for a little while. They also featured variant buttons. So product variants can be buttons now instead of a dropdown. But we've had that for a little while. When they released that, I actually have a tutorial on YouTube that I'll link in the description. You can create really cool hover effects with custom CSS. So if you want to style those buttons so they stand out a little more interactive, I got you covered. So that's fun. But as far as commerce tools are concerned, there was one big announcement that I am beyond excited about. Okay, drum roll, please. It's that exciting. They give us the ability to edit the mobile layout separately. Now, that might not sound like that big of a deal, but oh my gosh, it's a big deal. They've never done that for a collection page before. We have the ability to update mobile separately for Fluid Engine sections. Fluid did a lot of cool things. That was one of the big ones. But to do this for a pre-made collection page, this is huge. This means they're looking into giving us the ability for mobile edits for collection pages. And this is the first one we have access to. I am over the moon excited about this. Way too fun. So what can we do on mobile? On the store for your Squarespace website, I want you to go to the storefront page, hop into edit mode, click on mobile preview, and now you can actually adjust the number of columns using the editor. You don't need code for this. And you can add an add to cart button for individual products just on mobile to make it super easy for people to shop on their phones. These are two features that we've never had before that I am super stoked about. So definitely check those out. Very excited about those updates. Hopefully, they'll be making even more of them when it comes to design features for collection pages. And you better believe the second they do, I will be hopping in here with a new tutorial for you. So get excited there. All right, let's move our way down the list. Next at the list, squarespace.com/refresh. Email marketing. Campaign's got a couple of updates. They are not the ones I was dreaming of. They're not the updates on my wish list, but they're still cool updates. We can now send automatic product recommendation emails, and they released a few new templates, so it's always fun to see what their designers are doing. We still don't have the ability to get really customized when it comes to the fonts, and we don't have any new content blocks or ways to style content in campaigns. Personally, I think it needs a little bit of love, but I still use campaigns as automated messages for people that purchase on my site. I use them for my workshops, for example, just to reach out to people immediately when they make an order. It's a better integration than the email service provider I have. So, okay, I will say automatic product recommendation emails. That's cool. I just really wish they would let me use my Squarespace font in my emails. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm still going to be using my other email service provider for a while, but that was an update that they made. So I thought I'd throw it out there. All right. Next on the list, building Squarespace with AI. This is one of my favorite topics these days. The Squarespace AI feature is still fairly new. I do have some tips on them inside the square.co/try AI if you've never given it a shot. I have been noticing over the last couple of months that their AI, it's made improvements. It's getting smarter. I don't know if they have linked to an external API or if they've built their own, but whatever they've done, I've noticed that the responses and prompts that I'm getting, this interaction coming back, it's getting better and better. I'm going to record another tutorial about it to release later this month, but I'm very excited that AI is doing some cool things. So definitely check that out. All right. So next up on the list, bio sites. Personally, I can't speak to this update because I don't use bio sites. I have nothing to say here. As a Squarespace enthusiast, I feel kind of bad about that, but I got to be honest, I just make my own landing pages for any traffic from social media on my Squarespace site. I don't use bio sites. So if you do use bio sites, some things changed. Go check it out. All right. Next up, this is the exciting one. This one is a lot of information. Usability and expressibility. That's what they called this section. But what really is how to do cool things with Squarespace. So one of the first features they released, direct header editing. This one's actually new. This one we haven't had before. Rather than just organizing your pages in your website menu, you can also drag and drop the titles of your pages for your main navigation in edit mode. We've never been able to do that in edit mode before, so that's cool. A little more intuitive. Gotta love it. The next thing we talked about, section dividers. We've had those for a while. That's really not that new, but it was still on the update list. Section dividers, they're cool, but I'm sure you've used them. If you haven't, it's a divider for a section. Enough said, right? Again, I'm not too excited because we've had them for months. I'm kind of jaded on that one. One of the next things they mentioned on the list, style previews for website templates. It's a coming soon feature. This is definitely a feature for people new to Squarespace. I honestly don't give that big of a hoot about it. Basically, what it is we'll have the ability to change the color and text of the preview when we go to squarespace.com/templates. I can kind of picture that already. I've been using Squarespace for years. I know which templates I like, and I honestly usually just start with a blank site and build from there. But people new to Squarespace are probably going to love that update. So that's great. All right, we've got a few more things to get through here. Stick with me. One of the new improvements you might not have noticed, fluid engine improvements. These happened a few months ago. We have the ability to align and resize multiple content blocks at the same time in a fluid engine section. So you can press like Control A on your keyboard or just use your cursor to select all of the content blocks. And you can say, hey, align them all to the left or align them all to the top. We can do that as a group. And I think that's a really cool feature. So that was one that made the list, even though we've already been playing around with it for a little while. One other update that was super sneaky that you might not have noticed is the ability to rearrange mobile. Mobile sites, this is how it used to be set up. You'd add a content block to a fluid engine section, and no matter where you put it, on the mobile version, these content blocks would be added in the order that you added them to the site. If you moved a button to be next to text, it would still be the last thing that was added in mobile. But now the mobile site will actually update to reflect the layout that you've had on your desktop. So it's a lot more intuitive than it used to be. Kind of a sneaky update that we didn't see before. So that's pretty exciting. All right, got a few more to get through. Asset library. We now have a trash can and folders. So asset library, there's a lot of room to grow here. I know personally that product development team is still doing some cool stuff. I have had a wish list for them since they first released it months ago as the beta test for the Circle members. It's been a lot of fun to play around with, but this new folder feature, that part's one of my favorites. I just used this recently. I was updating my Getting Started course on Squarespace. So I made a folder for all of the thumbnails for the course videos. I was able to just drag and drop the images into that folder. And then when I was working on the course, all I had to do is select that folder and grab the image. I didn't have to scroll through my hundreds of images or anything to make sure I had the right one. So we still can't tag images. We still can't update the alt tags or all of those other things that like we really want to happen. But folders are very cool. They will keep us organized. And I really love that feature. And the trash can feature. We can finally delete an image. It's not going to stay there forever. Pop it in the trash can. I'm pretty sure we have that 30-day grace period where it won't be permanently removed until after 30 days. Don't quote me on that one. Check out the update just to make sure. But I was excited that there are some improvements. More things are coming, so that'll be really fun. Okay, let's see here. Platform navigation refresh made the list. This one was a little rough for me, I'm not gonna lie. This happened a while ago. If you want to learn more, inside the square.co/update. This update changed the way our main menu was structured. They moved around a lot of the settings. They removed our pages menu, how we access site styles. I still have literally hundreds of tutorials to update, but I'm too excited about new stuff. I'll get to it eventually. It's on that to-do list. Anyway, that was a part of this refresh release. They mentioned the update. So again, if you hopped into Squarespace recently and you're super confused by the way the navigation is set up, inside the square.co/update, I have a tutorial for you. Go check that out. Okay, so we've got a few more things that they've updated here. Sticky scrolling was listed as coming soon. I'm stoked about this one. Previously, we've used CSS to do this. Got an old tutorial in the archive somewhere. I'll link to it in the description when this live is over in case you want to do this now, in case you can't wait until it's released. But supposedly, we'll have sticky scrolling soon. And what that means is you can scroll through a site and make something stick to a specific spot in the page while you scroll through the rest of your content. It's kind of a cool design feature, and it's definitely been a popular one for a while. So I'm glad Squarespace is integrating it so we don't need code anymore. Image overlay. This one was released a few months ago. You can add a color or style overlay to images. I actually just used this on a landing page 2 days ago, and I really liked it because I used to have to manually adjust the opacity of an image. I used to have to hop in there and be like, okay, block ID, opacity 0.7, make that 0.8, and play around with it like that. But now I can just use an image overlay, a couple of clicks, and it's done. No extra code that needs to be added. So that part I like. Definitely check out some of the new background effects. If you use images a lot or want to play around with those, all you have to do is click on the design tab. They're already in there. Lots of fun stuff. Form block refresh. That was next on the list. It says coming soon, but I'm pretty sure it's already here because I used it yesterday. I was working on my brand new homepage for InsideTheSquare.co, and I'm integrating a new form on that homepage. And I clicked on the design tab and saw our new options. We now have the ability to add custom borders to specific fields. We can have just a solid color background if we want to. There are a couple of different designs that have been released. So rumor has it, there's even more coming. But if you've looked at your forms recently or want to give them a little bit of a refresh, again, click on that design tab or hop into your site styles menu and you'll see some cool options. So that's a lot of fun. Next one on the list, Threads social icon. Yep, that made the update announcement. We now have 36 social media icons to choose from, and Threads is one of them. One other thing I should mention about that, I did a quick check as soon as they said the Threads icon was on there. The Twitter icon is still a bird. They didn't bother changing that one, but they did add Threads. So if you've started using Threads, you want to link to it from your social media icons in the header or any content block, you've got the option there. So that's great. But the Twitter's still a bird. Okay. The next thing on the update here was shape block improvements. This one I was pretty stoked about. Shapes can now have drop shadows, but they can also have borders. For the code nerds that are here on the call with me, we used to have to do a filter drop shadow, multiple layers of drop shadow to create that border effect because these shapes were cutouts using a clip path property. But all that's gone now. We can just do it right in Squarespace. We don't have to mess around with clip paths or borders or box shadows or tweaking something until it looks close enough to perfect. It's built right into the editor. Add a shape block to a site and select the design tab. And actually, I think it's right on the main tab. There isn't even a design tab. Just double click on the shape. It'll be underneath where you assign the custom color for the shape. You'll find borders and drop shadow. So check that out. Okay, and then new and improved website templates. They released a few more templates in their template list. Most of them are for courses, but there are a few others too. I think it's always fun to see what the designers at Squarespace are coming up with, kind of where their heads at, what design trends they're looking at. So definitely check those out. I'm going to spend some time looking at that this evening to see if I can be inspired. So that'll be fun. A few new templates. And then they also said the one last release here was SOC2 audit passed. I don't know what that means. I don't know why it's in features, but it was on the list. So I had to mention it. Good job, Squarespace. Okay, let's keep going through the rest of these updates. We've got a few more. Domains. This was the next header there on squarespace.com/refresh. Squarespace had released earlier this year that they had the intent to purchase Google domains. I'm not sure if it's official yet, but supposedly will happen by the end of the year. And they've updated the interface to match. We have a new dashboard for managing domains. So if you are like me and own more domains than you own shoes, hop in there, check it out. There's some cool features. Domains is definitely something Squarespace is paying attention to. They also have a good integration with the Whois registrar. So if you've got multiple domains, check out the new dashboard. It's pretty cool. Okay. The next thing on the list at squarespace.com/refresh, I've got to be totally honest here. This I do not really understand. I don't really get why it's on the list, and I don't really get why we don't have links. Here's the quick rundown. They have a whole section on that page where they talk about how they hired 6 famous photographers and had them make a Squarespace website. They don't have any links to the sites, and they don't have links to their sites as templates, but they alluded to it. They implied that these sites that were designed for these photographers will have links to other websites or templates so we could build a site like theirs, but I didn't see any links. And then they also said you can apply to have one of the famous photographers critique your photography portfolio, which is awesome. But again, and I cannot stress how much I don't get this, there is no link to that. I don't know how to apply, and I don't know where those templates are. So hopefully it's just kind of an oversight and they'll update that later. Keep an eye on that. Maybe follow Squarespace on social. Maybe they'll announce it there. But this is a really big part. It was called the Squarespace collection, and I have absolutely no idea where any of this stuff is. So that was on the page, had to bring it up. All right. Few more things here. Extensions. There are 4 new extensions to check out in the Squarespace extension shop. There's an e-commerce one, there's a tax one, there's a charity one. Check those out if you're a fan. Enterprise got a few updates. Got to be honest here. 99.999% of the Squarespacers I know do not use the enterprise level of Squarespace. I don't use it. Anyone that does, you got an update, check it out. But I have a feeling that everyone watching this video is not on enterprise level, so I'm not going to worry about that one. And last but not least, Talk has a few updates. Talk is the restaurant reservation software that integrates with Squarespace. Personally, my clients are not restaurants, so I don't have any experience with this. But if you do use that system, there were quite a few updates there. So if you use Talk to manage reservations for a restaurant that is built on a Squarespace website, check out Talk. They made some updates. Cool stuff. Oh my gosh, that was so much. I don't usually talk this much in a row. That was a lot of content. Let's recap, friends, shall we? I see some awesome comments over here. Love it. Everybody's excited. That makes me really happy. There are definitely some big things. All right, let's talk about it. Kind of new stuff. Courses, client invoicing, project management. Learn more about courses by interacting with a course inside thesquare.co/course. When it comes to project management, client invoicing, I'm absolutely doing a new tutorial on that. I'll try to release it within the next 2 weeks. Keep an eye on my channel here on YouTube for that. Very excited. Let's see here. Updates to stuff we already had. Forms are new. Check out those new designs. You got some cool features. Shapes can have borders and box shadows. Images can have overlays and other effects. You can change the size and alignment options for content blocks in a fluid engine section, like multiple blocks at a time. So that's cool. There's a threads icon, but Twitter's still a bird. The asset library has a trash can and it has folders. Looking at my list here. Oh my gosh, the best update ever. Online stores. You can edit the mobile version or the mobile display for your online store separately from desktop. First time ever for a collection page. I'm beyond stoked about the implications of this. So if you have an online store, hop into edit mode, hop into your mobile preview, adjust the number of columns, and consider adding an add to cart button that only exists on mobile. Such a cool feature. Totally check that out. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, AI. It's getting better every day. Keep an eye on my YouTube channel for more updates about that. I am kind of obsessed with using it for brainstorming. It's been really helpful for coming up with creative content for my blog. So I've been really excited about that. Again, brainstorming. Never copy what AI gives you and use it verbatim. That's called plagiarism and that's wrong. Okay. But lots of cool potential there for what we can do with the AI integrated into Squarespace. So keep an eye on my channel for training there. Domains have a new dashboard. There are some new extensions available. Enterprise and Talk users got new stuff too. And the moral of the story is Squarespace is constantly changing. Squarespace is always making updates. Their product development teams are working super hard to give us all the things that they think we want. So the only way to make sure we get the things that we want is by letting them know, hey, we appreciate this update. We want this one. So definitely reach out to Squarespace and submit your suggestions. Let me know in the comments if there are cool things you wish Squarespace could do. I'm not only a Squarespace Circle member, but I'm actually a part of the Circle Leaders program, which means I've got even more influence in talking to the people at Squarespace. I don't know if I necessarily have influence on what the product does, but I know the people. I can get your request to the right people. That's all I'm trying to say. So let me help you out. Let me know in the comments what you wish Squarespace could do and which one of these updates you're most excited about. I think we all know which one I'm most excited about, and that is the ability to edit the actual store separately on mobile. That collection page mobile feature, just the implications of that, I am over the moon excited. But lots of other fun stuff to get into. AI, design with forms, shape blocks, images, all of that magic. But I will definitely record a new tutorial about project management and invoicing because that's also an exciting one, not for my business model, but for a lot of yours. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much, Windstar Bookkeeping. Thanks for showing up live too. That's fantastic. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for wanting to stay informed. I appreciate it. I am going to call it a night over here. It's well into 7:30. I've been talking for 25 minutes straight. That's too much talking. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go get some dinner. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you're excited about this update. Again, squarespace.com/refresh. Definitely check that out. I wrote it down here. Refresh. It's also linked in the description below. Squarespace is doing cool things for us and they're constantly making it better. So definitely check it out and see what's going on. And if you have any requests, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to get it to the right people or get that request in the hands of the people that actually influence the product. So hopefully we as a community can help them make it even better. Thanks again for watching. And most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now.